Hey, what's going on? You're here with Emil and Thomas. We are reviewing. This is the second portion of us reviewing the pamphlet for Project 2025 by what is it? Democracy what?
Democracy projects something
Oh,
or the
Ford, Democracy Forward. So where we ended off, we were talking about denying students in 25 states and Washington D.C. access to student loans. We're off that. The last note that they mentioned was expose the 368,000 children in foster care to risk of increased discrimination. All right.
wait. So they're saying they're going to expose the 300 and some thousand kids in foster care, but which will open it up for them to be discriminated against.
Yeah, some kind of form of discrimination. So I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about, but this is the report that they're giving us to prove it, quote unquote. The AFCARS report, preliminary fiscal year 2022 estimates of as of May 9th, 2023, number 30. This source is coming from Adoption and Foster Care Analysis and Reporting Systems, AFCARS. Okay, and says number in fiscal foster care on September 30 of the fiscal years. So it looked like the number has declined from year after year.
Of children in
From
foster care.
yeah. So from 2018, it went from like 437,000, and then it looked like it decreased by 12,000 the next year. Then it decreased by I guess 18,000 the next year, and then decreased around 16,000 the next year, and then decreased by almost 30. No. What's that? 70, 20, 23,000.
Okay,
So it is the numbers have decreased the number in foster care.
that's
Number
pretty
entered
good.
foster care during that time, it seems like that number has decreased near the same. No, it's not, because it's like 263,000. I'm not exactly sure what all these numbers mean.
Okay,
Uh,
so but how does it relate to the Project 25 and what's the article saying about? Because it just seemed like it's what they're saying is pretty good. That it's been decreasing in foster care. More people are getting babies
oh
that they
no, from
can't.
being discriminated against. So
Oh,
it's not telling us how. This is just giving us like the numbers of people and the ethnicities, the demographics of them, the age of when they got into foster care, the when they got out of foster care, why they got into foster care, when they got discharged. It just basically gives us like the information, letting people know like nationwide what the foster care system is like right now.
okay, but I don't understand. Yeah, it's not getting enough information for us to really discuss it because I'm still kind of confused on how
Well,
they're
this
being
is something
discriminated
where you're
against.
supposed to put a pin in it and get back to it later, and just know that they mentioned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
because it's above our head, and it's not like we're experts in foster care. You
no, not at
know,
all.
you can be a genius and still would not know it because it's not your expertise. It's not your specialized expertise.
Yeah,
So let's go ahead and put. I'm gonna put a little note right there. All right, let's go ahead and put a pin in it. All right, and let's move on to the next. So contents. Here's what's under attack. So cut wages, create unsafe work places, and destabilizes our economy. I think that'll be where we're going to start with number 6. I'm not going to go through and read all of the contents, As far as the table of contents, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to read the one we're going to go to. All
Okay.
right. And then what we'll probably do is once we're done with this one, we'll just put a pin in it and then come back and do it chapter by chapter.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is their proposal will cut wages, create unsafe workplaces, and destabilize our economy. This is the chapter that we're going through. It has two ladies that are talking to each other. That's their DEI. So she's a double minority, and that's a single minority. So okay, that's that. I guess that's what they're trying to say right there by the image it's showing.
Mm-hmm.
Project 2025 would enable corporations to cut overtime pay, relax worker safety rules, allow workplace discrimination, and more.
And they're saying that because what's
How
the
they'll
backing?
do it.
Real.
Stop. Okay. Stop people from earning overtime pay. Project 2025 wants the Department of Labor to make it harder for people to earn overtime pay. In 2024, the Biden administration issued a policy that will make over 4 million workers newly eligible to qualify for overtime pay. The U.S. Department of Labor did this by raising the overtime threshold, which is the salary ceiling under which salaried workers still qualified automatically for overtime pay if they work more than 40 hours in a week. Even though those workers are not paid hourly, raising the overtime threshold increases the number of workers with guaranteed overtime protections. Currently, the threshold protects non-hourly workers who make up to $43,888 annually, and it's set to raise again in 2025 to apply to people making up to $58,656. Project 2025 doesn't want to raise this threshold. Instead, Project 2025 proposes lowering the threshold and taking away overtime eligibility for millions of workers. This
Mm.
would leave at least 4 million workers, 4 million working people in industries that pay annually but still at lower wages, stuck working long hours without overtime pay. Everything from hospitality to manufacturing, administrative roles, and more.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So they say from mandate for leadership. This right here will be page 494. So if we were to actually go and look at their 900 page
Well, we can reference a more thorough laid out plan on how they're trying to do it.
yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna look it up, but
Yeah, we got these because it's just that was a very subjective paragraph you just read out. I really need more facts behind it before I really give my opinion on it because all this could be hearsay or speculation or I mean whether it is real or not real. Again, I can't speak on it because it's just a
all
paragraph that
right,
somebody
so this
printed.
is the 2025 mandate for leadership. And we are looking for page 492. All right. So turn to page 492. And is this page 492? Okay, it's way off. So I'm off by how much am I off by?
I think 2 pages. I think it was
52,
491.
85. Okay, so we're gonna go 520. And then okay, so that was slightly off. So 492. All right. So mandate for leadership, the conservative promise, strategic national stockpile. The president should invoke the Defense Production Act, which is a form of temporary takeover of private enterprises, only in the gravest circumstances. The strategic national stockpile (SNS) should be reformed to consider the potential supply chain disruption of pandemics or global conflicts. Also, during the COVID pandemic, many states received ventilators from the SNS and hoarded them in places where a rush of COVID patients needing ventilators never materialized. The SNS should clarify its mission as supplier of last resort to the federal government, state governments, or first responders and key medical staff, and should not portray itself as serving the public as a whole. It says Office of General Counsel, OGC. The Office of General Counsel is essential to ensuring that HAS is operating within the bounds of its numerous government governing statuses. However, legal caution can outweigh uh, practical necessity and often slows processes and decisions when time is of the essence. Such problems were evident both before and during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay,
Internal
wait. I'm sorry. I'm trying to grab something real quick. Is this article speaking from the perception of people for or against Project 2025?
So this is for Project 2025.
And so
This
they're
is
saying,
Project 2025.
okay, so you're reading straight out on the mandate and saying what they were going to do, because
This is their plan of what they're trying to do. If it's up to them, this is what they're going to do.
I mean, just like you said to me, it sounds good, but even if somebody, I don't know if I feel comfortable with the government having the using that authority, whether it is for the good or not, because like you give somebody an inch and you be like, okay, cool, you we needed to do this in this, and then they could just start manufacturing crisis just so they can start keep control over private sectors. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's what they do a lot of times. Well, I shouldn't say that, but that's what they're trying to do in this one. This is, I mean, the thing is, while I'm reading, I know that I have to continue reading more and more. So you're understanding more than I am about it. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yeah.
But from what I'm seeing from this, um, this is basically trying to take over private business as far as and
In times of emergency, but that's
yeah.
just like what I'm understanding. It's just like the same thing that goes for what's it called, martial law in times of emergencies. And they
Hmm.
can, yeah, nah, I don't even like martial law either, because it was exploited during the Civil War when a lot of places in the South was under martial law, so soldiers would be able to feed themselves on people's farms or plantations, whatever you want to call them, and a lot of people got taken advantage of. Some people just got robbed blind under the, hey, this is for the benefit of the state, or because we're under martial law, we can do this. And like, nah, I don't want to see that happen in the private sector either.
Okay, okay. Let's look back at it real quick. Okay, internal processes should be reformed to streamline necessary legal determinations during crises, and general processes should be reviewed for efficiency. OGC should also rescind its PrEP Act liability memo. I'm not gonna go through the whole detail of it because we're just, in fact, I'm gonna go through it, whatever. The OGC issued a PrEP Act liability memo that suspended applications of civil rights and other laws in the context of the administration of covered countermeasures during the pandemic. It should be rescinded as contrary to law. Again, they're basically rescinding something that was supposed to be for civil rights, and it's a countermeasure and they're trying to eliminate it. Okay, all right. All right, I hear you. Let's go ahead and
But I find it like improbable that it will ever pass because as we well are informed, there are things called lobbying. There's things called so senators and congressmen are heavily paid by private corporations, and I don't see them passing a bill that goes against their interest, even though like it would affect every. Well, if Apple ain't gonna pay no congressman to pass and help them pass a law to say, hey, if the government wanted to, they could come and take your business. Well, Apple's not
Hey,
even based in the
let's
United
go
States
let's go
technically.
ahead and because it's a lot of stuff in here, and this is actually what this is their plan. This does not mean that they can or can't. This is just their plan. So this is, you know, the next part of their plan will be rescind efforts to curtail OCR authority over conscious and religious freedom. All OGC memos in Federal Register notices of organization or delegations of authority moving any OCR conscious and religious freedom enforcement to OGC, including RFRA, should be rescinded, and independent authority over these matters should be restored to OCR. So they're
What is
basically
OCR?
OCR. Hold on a sec.
Because that will help me better understand where they're trying to give power to. They're trying to take. Um,
Yeah, OCR is Office of Civil Rights.
okay. Why would that be a
So,
bad thing to take the it back to the Office of Civil Rights? I mean, like I
oh
guess
no, it
if you
says rescinded.
rescind it from them.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm not exactly sure. So it says rescind efforts to curtail, which means to cut, like really to cut a lot of their powers. OCR authority over conscious and religious freedom. So I'm guessing they're basically trying to limit a lot of their freedoms and religious in the OCR. So
Yeah,
they're
that might have more to do with migrants than it do for the United States people because ain't no as many Republicans that are openly Christian. They ain't never gonna tell them people they can't
oh,
worship
you know
Jesus.
what? It's the look. So what it is? The OGC is basically going to be controlling the OCR. That's what it's saying. So the OCR is more of the child, and the OGC is more of the parent. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So they're basically going to rescind a lot of whatever they get, whatever conscious and
powers. Yeah,
religious freedom and whatever that they have, and they want more control over whatever they're implementing, whatever they're
yeah.
thinking.
I can see how that could be used against immigrants, mainly Muslims, not allowing them to practice their religion here in this country. I can definitely see that being a possibility the way Donald Trump be speaking on Muslim people. But
Yeah,
like I said,
they quick to say to port them. So
yeah,
the next one is encourage DOJ to repeal OLC memos allowing abortion funding despite Hyde in memos allowing federal enclave immunity to perform abortions despite the Assimilative Crimes Act. That right there is one that we're going to have to put a pin in
yeah, for sure.
because
If they're
that
talking
is
about
that's
that's deep, that's deep. But if they're talking about the Department of Justice, and abortions, that's already gonna be a rabbit hole in itself.
yeah. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just to ensure that I got it. I'm gonna screen save that. All right. I
But I
didn't.
mean, I'm pretty sure they are. That's what Roe v. Wade was.
Well, I mean, my whole thing about it is that deserves a video review.
That definitely do. I can
So
agree with that.
I don't want to talk about that one too much until we get some experts to tell us more. So the next one will
Mm-hmm.
be rescind legal and analysis that authorized HHS to impose a moratorium on rental evictions during COVID. So again, it says recent legal analysis that authorized HHS to impose a moratorium on rental evictions during COVID. What I'm gonna do
Oh,
is
I'm pretty
I'm
sure that was. I'm pretty sure that's just talking about the laws that were in place during COVID that allowed people to stay in their place of residence on while we're under quarantine without facing evictions. And I'm pretty sure we definitely need to rescind those laws because that's allowing people to become squatters in 2025 years after.
all right. So I put this in Copilot. Copilot is a AI generated response system. It basically says this phrase refers to revoking or turning the legal justification that allowed the Department of Health and Human Services to enforce a moratorium on rental evictions during the COVID-19 pandemic. Essentially, HHS had relied on a legal interpretation that permitted it to halt evictions as a public health measure aiming to prevent the spread of the virus. However, rescinding the legal analysis would mean removing the basis for that policy, potentially making it easier for landlords to evict tenants who were previously protected under the moratorium. Would you like
So
to
basically,
explore?
what I just said.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. I mean, my whole thing about that is okay, all right. Rescind legal analysis. Okay, all right. I mean, okay, all right. I'm not really. That's not. Hey, man, just because someone's doing horrible things, don't mean everything they do is bad. It's kind of like just because Ike and Tina, Ike had some great days with Tina. I'm pretty sure Ike probably had 90% great days with Tina, but Tina pissed him off 2% or 5% of the time. It was bad days. Those are bad days with Tina, and she
Mhm.
thought it was worth it. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know if you know moving on. Rescind the OGC legal analysis saying that the injunction in Bowen versus American Hospital Association prevents any proposed HHS regulation or enforcement action concerning the denial of care to newborn infants with disabilities by covered health care entities without or against parental consent. I don't get how that works.
Oh yeah, that's a little bit above our heads. I think it would be best if we go back to the little pamphlet and hit the hot topics because that Project 2025 takes a lot more research and information gathering than we currently have on hand.
Well, that's true. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I was going to just at least go through these last two bullet points.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
It says rescind the legal analysis supporting the Biden administration decision to dismiss the University of Vermont Medical Center case dealing with the forced participation of nurse in abortion in violation of law. And the last,
Mm.
and the last one was rescind the legal analysis restoring $200 million in Medicaid funds to California after having been found to be in violation of the Weldon uh, amendments by OCR. All right.
Okay. Okay. The first one just got to deal with, trying to ban abortions and, a lawsuit was brought up. I understand that much. And then the Medicaid was probably given to illegal immigrants and, they ain't going for that. So they're talking about we need that money back.
Okay, okay. Well, let's go to the next part of the pamphlet. One thing I have to say is that did give us a few more things to dig into later.
No, of course.
Um,
This whole thing is stuff that we gotta dig into later. Like this is a bunch of like
oh, it's a
Project
bunch of
2020.
jewels.
Yeah. Project 24 is almost like a bill, right? Well, a log before a law gets passed, they just give you the highlights of the bill. But when you actually look into the bill, that's why a lot of people say that we should have bills that are pertain to one topic, not trying to squeeze laws in underneath a whole bunch of good looking stuff.
Well, I mean, this is more like the playbook. Like if I had a football team, this is it, and then I'm gonna give everyone their marching orders.
Yeah,
So
but
you go
and
home, you
but
study it, and we're gonna live by it. That's what that is.
not every play gets ran in the game though. Not
I
every
hear
play
you,
get ran
but
in the
what I'm
game.
saying is by them giving us the playbook, if you want to ride with it, you can help them or you can help try to stop them. But by you being, if you're complicit and you don't try to learn about it, you're probably helping them. Because whenever you sit back and you let the bad guys work and steal from your neighbor and you're not doing anything about it, eventually they're gonna steal in your house and then you're gonna be one tripping. While you could have stopped that stuff from the beginning by saying, hey, nah, bro. Because one thing about thieves, if the thieves see people looking and talking to the police and they see people looking around and being kind of like, nah, we on our toes, they're gonna at least leave that place alone for at least a week.
Well, I feel like if we really wanted to do more, like more people should be voting on their local government instead of federal government because or picking their representative better
Well, right now,
per se.
you heard about the Wisconsin, what they're doing in Wisconsin. Well, Elon Musk,
What's going on in Wisconsin?
he has basically gave two people $1 million to vote the way he wants in a Wisconsin's, like you said, local race that's going on.
I mean, it sounds about right. I mean, we call it
Yeah.
lobbying.
But
They call it
you talk about giving a voter $1 million is cool. That's something that you feel like okay.
because it get done anyway. Like, well, that's just something that's being highlighted. But it happens all the time, way more than people think it does. Most of the votes get passed based on how much money is put in a person's hand. And if you can outbid the other opponent, then you can get that swing vote to come to your side. Yes, this happens all the time. And that's why a lot of
Just because
people
it
who,
happens all the time don't mean that is right. And just because
oh
it's
yeah,
happening in
yeah,
front of
but
you
we call,
and other
we
people
call it
do it don't mean that is different.
we call
It's
it
the same
lobbying.
thing.
We
And
call it
what I'm
lobbying.
saying is normally when someone does that and they're found, they normally have some criminal actions that are taking place after that. Right
No,
now,
no,
because they
because
do it
it's
in
done in the
front of
public.
us and you
It
make it
it
normalize it, and it's something that normally people go to prison for and they're not going to prison for. You
Yeah,
know what I
because
mean?
it's done in our faces. It's called lobbying. When a company
It's not
lobby
lobbying
against,
if you're doing it like I guess like it's gonna like he's basically making everything so much more expensive than what need be. And there used to be something that people go to prison for. You do know that, right?
mm,
You do know people you go to prison for that, right?
yeah, it's just how it gets handled. Like
I
basically
get
how
what you're saying, but if it's something that people go to prison for and he's doing it and you're okay with it, you're cool with people acting like felons, who acting
I
like
mean,
felons.
because like I said, it gets done every day. Why would I point out pick out one out of the bunch? Why would I pick out one out of the bunch and just terrorize
All
him or
right, that
complain
sounds
about
like
things?
you've been complicit. Let's go to the next part, and
No,
then
but that was off topic anyway. My point matter is that we live in what we call a democratic republic. So we're democratic on a state level, and we a republic on the federal level. That means we pick representatives to vote in our best interest on the federal level. On the state and local levels, you have a direct voting power towards most things. All right. So if we really wanted to make a change, it will start by picking better representatives to represent us in the federal government. Will yes, the big overhead government does make better like different laws and stuff that could affect us. I say could because as we seen, a lot of stuff that's made into law on a federal level sometimes doesn't get through on the state level. Like there's plenty of states that is legalized for weed, even though weed is illegal on the federal level. So if our state wanted to, they can go against everything Project 2025 is trying to enact for the people. But we just have to pick better representatives to say, hey, we not with that over there, or pick better local governments, like mayors and all the lineups of
That
people or
just seems
whatever.
scary, like because like Elon Musk is not the only billionaire out there, so he's not the only person who can give someone so much money. And if that's the case, then morality's out the window because 70% of people's soul is for sale.
It's already been for sale. It's
Like,
always
no,
been
my
for
soul is
sale.
not for sale.
No, no, I'm
I
saying
guess you
that
not everyone's soul is for sale.
yeah, it is for sale because every
No,
day.
no, not everyone's soul is not for
No,
sale.
no, no. It's just what you feel is morally acceptable and versus what's not acceptable. You
I hear
going to
what you're saying. You over
work as a
here,
teacher.
look.
You trading your time for any amount of money. It means you are willing to do said thing for money as long as it falls in your what you include in your morality. And morality is subjective.
So
What you
you
think is
already
good or
know
bad is
that.
not the same person's other person's good or bad. So what you would or would not do for money, or what you would and could not, or not could or no, what you would consider selling your soul for, another person might not think that they are selling their soul because
I mean,
their
I get what you're
morality is
saying.
different.
I guess what I'm saying is the fact that if someone is cool and loose with the ideal of killing hundreds of people for a few dollars, then
Big
that's
oil do it
have
all the
at it.
time.
But at the
Big
same
oil
time,
do it. Big pharma do it.
I get what
Um,
you're saying, but at the same time, your soul, when you die, those people, they're gonna be edging your brain somehow, some way. You know what I mean? So you and your maker is gonna have to talk about that. You got to be
yeah,
one with your Lord, your maker. So I don't get was like,
people usually money is rooted in all evil. We all know the same. So most people with a lot of money have a skewed morality. Maybe they believe or not believe in the creator. Maybe they believe or not believe that what they're
anybody
doing
who
is.
believe that them people made their billions just because they worked hard are silly.
Yeah, of course not. I mean,
You know,
I think the American dream has been shown to not really work. It's not about how hard you work. It's about the connections. Generational wealth helps a lot
well,
as
right
well.
now, what I'm saying is the fact that you talking about the DI is been a bad thing, but if they don't like, since we are included, quote unquote, now, if they don't hire us, how can we get up?
But people been getting hired before DEI, and even in the spaces where it seems like, hey, they shouldn't be here. President Obama became the president without
Hey,
DEI.
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and go through a little bit more, because we got like a few more pages.
All right.
All right, number two, how they'll do it. Cut funding for local job creating programs. Project 2025 proposes to destroy a program that plays a pivotal role in facilitating transformative economic growth for local economies. So, how's that? The Economic Development Administration (EDA) was responsible for investing billions of ARP dollars into transformative infrastructure projects across the nation. According to their 2022 report, these investments resulted in 220,000 jobs and generated nearly $20 billion in private investment. Project 2025 proposes that EDA grants should be consolidated with other programs and or eliminated, which would undermine the ability of the federal government to invest in communities across the nation, with effects that could devastate working people, small businesses, and the overall health of our economy. This is on page 664.
I feel like that post is kind of contradictory on some parts. Like, I mean, I'm not saying all of it is not true, but I find it weird how they brought up Detroit, and how it could take away the jobs
Hey,
they're trying to
you
build back.
remember when Trump say, "Oh man, what a dump, Detroit."
Yeah, and I also remember him just recently when it was
Man,
in
it's
the tariff
crazy.
war. Have you been to Detroit?
Yeah, I've
Yes,
been. I was out hanging out in Detroit like 2, 3 a.m. At night.
yeah,
You know,
it's
I'm
not.
going 6 9 from there. I mean, they do have some woo, but shoot,
But when I seen him propose, as long as this tariff war is going on between him and Canada, they're going to bring back the car making back to Detroit and take it back from Canada because most of our cars get built in Canada for whatever weird reason. And on top of that, Tesla is supposed to be building a new production line for their vehicles out there just to. Oh, that wouldn't that help make more jobs by bringing car production back to Detroit?
Yeah, like we said earlier, that sound good. All right. So looking at page 664.
No, but I only brought that up just to say because from that wording of how they said that he's taking jobs from Detroit in the beginning of what you had said, I'm like, but it contradicts what his actions are bringing jobs in there. Like,
Well, I
can't make
mean, it
everybody a
sounds
robot.
good, but in order to really bring people back, they have to want to live in Detroit. And then
No, because there's plenty of people and still in Detroit. Detroit is still a big city. It still got plenty of people willing to
and I
work in
got you.
Detroit.
I was just saying that then building new facilities is going to cost a lot of money.
Yes, it
So
is.
it's going to cost a lot of money, and it's
But
saying,
I promise you, I bet you, a lot of new facilities won't be built. A lot of old facilities will be refurbished, and then maybe a couple handful of new facilities be built. That way, they can
so
cut down on
looking
costs.
at the actual mandate for leadership, which is the project 2025. Is the only part that I'm saying that it says about the EDA grants program, which are among a broad set of duplicative and overlapping federal economic development grant programs, should be consolidated with other programs and or eliminated. So yeah, they are going for the grants that the EDA has provided. Um, though not exhaustive set of proposals, the next conservative president should consider whether. So they're basically saying that, yeah. So I'm
They need to consider, meaning that the person needs to reevaluate the spending of those grants or the giving out of those grants because maybe for whatever reason, this is all hypothetical,
ooh,
but the person
they've been talking
who
about the NOLA.
the grants might have been given in good faith, but they're not being used in good faith, or they're being handed out to people who shouldn't have gotten them in the first place.
Well, you
All,
really can't say that because they're giving all these grants to Elon Musk, and no one talking about his 200 million or whatever money that they're giving
but
him.
all that
And that's
paragraph
crazy
said that
how
needs to
he's over
be.
here talking about other people's waste while he's getting them grants.
Yeah,
This
but
right here, these I'm gonna go through some of the other suggestions that he's trying to say the president should think of, because this is something that's in the news that I'm just looking at, and it's like it really stated it, and the
yeah, but
national
see that
ocean.
see the pamphlet make it
This is
seem
not a
like.
pamphlet. This is
Yeah,
the
no, this is
actual,
Project 20. Yeah, this is Project 25. I'm saying the pamphlet made it seem like it was a guarantee that they was going to take this away. And now actual Project 2025 is saying, so consider taking it away.
bro. Come
Not,
on, man. If you
no, no,
don't
no.
see the
Don't stay,
words that says
don't stay.
eliminate, if you don't see
Yes,
the words that says eliminate,
consider the elimination. Consider the
come on,
elimination.
man. Read between the lines, man. You're not
No, I
dealing with
don't.
honest people.
But don't
Are you
state
dealing
something.
with honest people?
But I'm showing. I'm not saying it's true or not true. I'm pointing out how the pamphlet be biased because you can make your assumption all
The
day long,
pamphlet is
but
trying to put people on note and let them know if you let them do whatever they want, they're gonna take it. If you let someone move into your place and you don't have no rules or regulations for them, as far as where they can go, and they have no home training, they'll be in your bed eating pistachios.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if that's the playbook, if Project 2025 is the playbook is only saying to consider the elimination. And we're
Bro,
talking, no,
man,
no, no, no.
you act like what is so okay. Look, you may be right. All right, so let's go ahead and go through some more of this because this is information I'm just learning. So
Mhm.
I'm learning with you, all right. The National Oceanography,
Biographer.
yeah, and Atmospheric Administration, or the NOAA, should be dismantled and many of its functions eliminated, set to other agencies, privatized, or placed under the control of states and territories. If
Hmm.
so, NOAA is like if you're an aviation person, they're the ones who give you the information on what's going on with the oceans and the atmosphere. So they're basically saying to dismantle it and then to have agencies, other agencies, and to privatize it.
It says privatize or leave it up to the states or other agencies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That don't.
Because
Oh,
it probably costing too much money to run federally.
do you think they're doing it from the goodness of the? Do you think they wrote this goodness of their heart?
I don't
Bless your
believe
heart.
I don't believe everything is an agenda that's just like you can't believe that whether they will or will not do something. You can't believe that everything that's in there is for actually the horrible reasons. That
Well,
would
what
be
I'm saying,
biased
I'm
in
believing
itself.
everything in here is for a selfish, vindictive people that want to take every little piece of money they can, and they're willing to take. They'll be willing to let everyone die for it. Yes, I'm willing. Yes, yes, we need to be. Yes, we need to be worried. Yes, that's my belief. Yes.
Yeah, so that's just a
We're,
overall
we have
bias.
look, we have two different thought processes.
Yeah,
Your
because
thought process is
mine is more open ended. I will say some things are bad, some things don't sound good. You just saying no, everything is bad, and I'm just like, wait. You don't know that for real.
well, what I'm saying is even if something's good, I don't want look, I don't want nothing the devil got. I don't want no money from the devil. I don't want no cheesecake from the devil. I don't want no girl from the devil. I don't want nothing nothing the devil can give me. I do not want. The
Okay, but
devil
so what
requires
do you
something
want?
in
So
return.
what do you well that means that it doesn't matter what Donald Trump do. And he damn near should just sit there,
Bro,
don't
I'm
say
not
anything.
look. All I'm saying, I'm just trying to get you to understand that there's gonna be some good things that's gonna be in this, true. But the purpose behind it is not because they're looking out for us. And you it's like you are giving them the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah, it's called
and
devil's
that's
advocate.
good. But at the same time, if they have the opportunity to eliminate it and it's going to save them money, they're going to eliminate it after a while. If they can. If they have
But
the
you
ability, they're going to if it's going to save them money.
and how is saving the government money bad
Oh, no,
in
no,
this
no, no, no,
case?
no, 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 no. I'm not saying save the government money. I mean for Trump and all the rich people to get money. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone in the executive branch is millionaire or better. There's nobody in the executive branch that's not a millionaire right now.
And
Everyone.
so save them money, so they can offer more of these
No,
things.
because
They
what
go,
I'm saying is if they haul out and make the system so irrelevant, people are gonna beg for privatization. And guess who's gonna be there? These millionaires and the billionaires.
yo,
And we're never really gonna be one of them like that. And the
nope.
reason why is because well, technically we could, but eh,
It got
I
to be
just
a
can't.
lot of things that happen for us to reach a billionaire status.
You get what
Billionaire,
I'm
not.
saying. So you with me. I don't I'm just
But
saying. So
millionaire
look,
status is
these are
not that that's not that far out of the reach of anybody's hand. It's kind of like once you, I mean, I'm not gonna speak too much, but I feel like once you get into a craft or business or investments or whatever it is that it makes a lot of money, like over 100,000, becoming a millionaire is not that far away. It's harder to make 100,000 than it is to make $1 million from 100,000 if you use your money wisely.
Well,
So we could become
that's
millionaires.
as long as you have you don't have as much pressure. If you have a lot of pressure, then you're not going to be able to do that. But I get you. You know. Let's look at the next one that they say. Alternatively, the USPTO should be consolidated with the National Institute of Standards and Technology (NIST) in a new U.S. Office of Patents, Trademarks, and Standards, with all non-mission critical research functions eliminated or moved to other, more focused federal agencies. All right.
Mm,
It's this right here is talking about the US PTO should be made into a performance-based organization under the OMB. The OMB, who's that? The OMB is right now run by Russ Vought, who came up with Project 2025. Yeah, Russ Vought came up with he has a big role in this making this project. And they're basically the US Patent and Trade Office. So this is if you want to go and get a trade or patent for whatever, I guess. So this is really affecting the business owners, because then you got to go through and kiss the ring, depending on, I'm not exactly sure. But
I don't know, but I think patents, in my personal opinion, is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So you telling me somebody could find something out and keep it for themselves and then charge whatever price they want just because they got a piece of paper saying that they own this intellectual property, and then on the other end of for some things, okay, yes, I feel like should be trademark or should be patent because that is like just creative and that's like entertainment, music, whatever you want to say. But for things that change people's lives, such as the car, when it first came out, Ford had a patent on it. Like, why? What? That's crazy to me. That
hey,
is
hey,
that.
one second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the recording and I'm gonna start the recording. So if you like what you have heard, like, comment, subscribe. We're going to cut it and restart.
Okay.